Welcome back to another Quarantine 8 video. Different video than we usually make. Yeah, today we just wanted to talk about something that is going on all over the world right now. The BLM protests, as well as police brutality and any other topics that align with these two topics. Yeah, we just thought that we wanted to use our platform to share our views on this topic, and we feel that we don't want to remain silent about this. So, yeah. So I'd like to start off by saying that we stand with the families and the victims. It's quite unfortunate what happened to them. We just like to say rest in peace to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner,
Maurice Ocheng, Lydia Mweni, Daniel Mburu, Hamisi Vega, Yassine Mayo,
as well as Samuel Maina, who was affected by police brutality. We will continue to say their names as well as everyone else that we did not mention. Just know that we're holding their names dearly to us. Right, so I just want to kick off the conversation, starting with how do you guys feel about how political leaders are dealing with the whole Black Lives Matter movement as well as police brutality?
Bro, one word, just disgusting. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, they're not even doing anything, man. It's only like until now is when you see like the senators in America, like now standing up or going to the protests. But now look at our country. Is any leader standing up to police brutality? Have you seen anyone talk about it?
Yeah, they're waiting for other guys to start first talk. Then now they start talking after they've seen people talking.
I think the most annoying part about all of this is that there's zero media coverage about any of this. Like, you never ever find it on the news, like nothing to do with it. And it's just sad because
I feel like that's not what necessarily fair. Because like at least now, as compared to before, you have like news outlets talking more about it, even here in Kenya and such. But like I feel the extent of how it's like crap in the news in America, I don't feel like it will be possible here, because there are all 50 states have allowed for peaceful protests. Like they are properly united, while as here in Kenya, no, if we even try going to the streets, well, you know what's going to happen.
Yep. GSU.
I'm not even saying that they should be like cameramen ready to work with people doing the protest. I'm just saying, like for Yassine, like they didn't talk about it on like news. They just posted like a topic on Citizen's Instagram page and Facebook page. Like, how do you do that? Like, this kid was shot by a stray bullet on his balcony, and the only thing he gets is an Instagram post.
Yeah, definitely the way they're handling it here is disappointing. I agree. I don't know. I feel like there's just a general fear in Kenya. Like, yeah, we can speak out on social media where we don't have a problem posting and all of that. But now if we try and take it to the streets, there's just the fear. There's a fear that we're gonna be attacked. That we feel like even though police are brutal, they're a bit more lenient in USA, that people can peacefully protest and stuff. Over here, like today, protest started, but still it's not a lot of people who will agree with that. I know outside the embassy, US embassy, and as well as parliament, there was, I think there was two different protests, if I'm not wrong. And it's people like our age, mostly. But yeah, like in terms of like the main like presidential leaders, I can say I feel like both US and Kenya has been quite disappointing. The last thing I heard about Uhuru, he was talking about how he feels that he's the best president that this country has seen, something of the sort. And
he was saying about how he's done the most for this country more than any other president.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
As well as Trump talking about looting starts, shooting starts.
Bro, that guy's no comment, bro. That's your president.
I feel like he's been doing everything to get himself fired in like the past 12 months or something. Like I don't know if he's tired of the job or what.
Yes, Zane, can we get that's not my president.
Yeah, first of all, that's not my president.
Thank you.
If Obama could come back, bro, but I don't know. I don't think we should make this about politics too much. But yeah, like I feel like it doesn't. I don't understand what he doesn't see about the situation. Like it's right there. And the fact you're hiding in bunkers and running away from the problem.
Businessman. What do you expect?
He's a closet white supremacist. Let's just.
What do you mean closet? That guy is a white supremacist. Just clean, bro. He's never hid it. When has he hid it?
He got a majority of black votes. So like black guys think he's.
You've forgotten that the Russians tampered. You forgot the Russians tampered in the elections.
Allegedly.
I don't believe that stuff.
They did that, bro. They did that.
Wait.
Facts. Come on. That's for another video.
That's another discussion. Hey. Anyway,
no, Anonymous told us, bro.
Yeah, Anonymous supposedly.
Yeah, shout out Anonymous.
Wait, hey.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I don't understand what it takes to say. Like I see the movement. I understand what's going on.
That's all.
I mean, I don't think you have to be black, but like you're the guy in power. You're ignoring, or you're seeing. You don't understand the point of a protest. Yet the point is, you're supposed to do things for the people. Now it seems like he's running.
You see, he what is it? He understands it because he saw how he talked about. The white protesters went to their guns, said they deserve the right to shave their hair. Like he was fully supportive of when the white guys were protesting. And it's not even us like we're going to the street, like they're going to the street with guns or anything. But just because of how he's viewing it, he therefore decides these guys are what? One side is thugs and the other are good people.
But he just needs to be black in order to understand, because you can't understand, you can't necessarily understand or take action, like legitimate action over something that you haven't faced.
No, but he can educate himself and know how black people feel and experience.
And that's what I'm telling you, he just has to be black to get it.
Bro, he just been like, with these stimulus checks, free A$AP Rocky, bro, this guy has just been lying to the black community.
Facts.
No, it's come the time.
Yeah, I get that.
But we can't all blame on the president because he's not the one exactly partaking in the act. The blame is also on the police. But
we're getting there. There's people out there like the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, who have addressed this like well. Like he's said in public, like, yeah, we acknowledge what's happening in America, we acknowledge what's happening around the world, and we know it's not something alien in Canada, and it's something we're striving, in the future, we're going to avoid all of this police brutality and stuff. Like, even though you don't believe it, a statement like that is not that hard. Coming out in public and saying, at least, I support BLM, even though you don't, that's not that hard. Like, it feels like it's more troubling to go and ignore the whole thing or, refuse to be, quote unquote, on the right side of the movement.
Yeah, but those guys who are coming out and going against it. I just don't know what they're thinking. Like that NFL guy, what was he thinking?
Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between being a patriot and kneeling for. He didn't understand the point of kneeling during the national anthem.
Yeah, and then even Trump, no, was it Trump?
Yeah, he supported him. He was like,
yeah,
hey,
Trump was supporting him. He was tweeting. But that guy is going crazy on Twitter, man. But just impeach him. Get him out of there, bro.
Yeah, sorry. Moving on from the political leaders, I feel like, a big part of the problem is the people in charge, the people who bring us justice. They have too much power, but not enough consequence.
Just behave arrogant.
Yeah, they're just,
feel like they're right. You don't do anything, and they just show up and they start beating you out of nowhere, and they rob you, and they leave you for dead.
But you saw cops are looting.
Oh, yeah, they start rioting they start the riot by themselves. So just this guy was wearing a hoodie, some mask, which is given out by the cops, like their own designated masks. And he's going around just hitting the windows. And he started it. Just started the riot, the looting and all that stuff.
Yeah, so, and the thing for the bricks also.
Yeah, also for the bricks. It just makes you question.
Man.
Bro, what's going on, man?
Yeah,
the people
bro.
who are supposed to protect us have too much power. And it's just like over here, before they even started enforcing like laws of like wearing masks and that kind of stuff, a cop would break into your house. Like there was a video of an explicit cop. He broke into a house. He banged the door, he opened, and he arrested this guy because he's not wearing a mask in his house. And he actually beat him to shit. He beat him because he's not wearing a mask in his own house. Like the people who are supposed to serve and protect us, they're given too much power.
But nowadays anybody can just go and become a cop. Like they just let anybody into their force.
That's fast, bro. Like police training is somehow less than training to become a barber. Like that doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I think just stripping the whole defunding police. Some people are against defunding police, because they believe like with less resources, then we can't train the police as good as we want them to, I think. But we've been like, haven't we been already funding the police to like a large extent?
They're running up that budget, Hey, US.
But like I feel like the problem in America is different from the problem here, because there where it's defund the police, here it's somehow we need to, I don't know, either increase funding, because I feel like you also the video for how we train and recruit cops.
Yeah.
So like that lack of money and everything that is given to them goes in a way to dehumanize them, which allows them to be as brutal as they are now. So somehow I feel like they should either find a way to unionize in Kenya so that they can get just pay and stuff like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the society just needs reformation.
Like in that same video, they said that for someone to get promoted, you have to get bribes from many people, and then from there on, that's when you're chosen to go up to become a chief or something else.
I saw another video today. They were talking about how, like, when you want to sign up for the GSU, you can only sign a contract where you work with them only for 6 years. And the reason they don't take you, like if you start at 18, you're going to end at 24. But they don't take you after that because, you see, after you've made all that money, what happens is you start wanting things, like you start saying, I want a family, you want to get out of it. And the minute you start thinking, the minute you actually start using your brain, they kick you out. Because the recruiter literally said they want people who don't use their brains. So it's just they get in there and they start beating people. They're not allowed to think.
I think another problem with the police force is classism. I don't know if that's the word, but like you'll never find a nigger who has big banks being beaten up. Like it's always somebody who's less fortunate. Like how do they take down houses in Kariobangi or where was it? Did they take down houses? And then people are left homeless and then they're gonna beat those same homeless people for being homeless. Like that man isn't.
I think they were disobeying curfew, and they have nowhere to stay. Right.
And you've closed the borders. They can't go like back to like their grandmother's place. They can't go, they can't go anywhere. And it's like they're stuck there. They're homeless, and you're going to beat them brutally. Instead of protecting women from being raped, there are women being raped because of being homeless.
Yeah, I saw that woman in front of her own kid. Hey, yo, bro. But wasn't there's some guy doing something about it? That MC, I don't know.
No, the Kenyan politicians, they say one thing and
mean the other. Because like I promise, like people who have money can stay out as late as they want past curfew and it's nobody's problem. But let somebody on foot get caught and doesn't have a bribe to give the police, that's the end.
Yeah, sure. I think a common thing among the US and Kenya and probably other countries is that when you reach that police status, when you are part of the police, I think you kind of gain the mentality of dehumanizing the people you're meant to protect, or you feel like you're above them. Yeah, and I think it's instilling. I know a lot of like people today talk about like servant leadership, how we're building people to become leaders who serve, and we hear that a lot in like schools, and we're like, okay, yeah, we've heard this before, but it's valid. Like it's valid, especially today when we're trying to make leaders who serve instead of leaders who will sit on a throne and just watch the world burn, whatever.
I feel like we need to, find a way to hold our leaders accountable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, true. But then the funny thing is that they create committees like among themselves, and then now they decide, okay, we're punishing you. Like how is that even fair, man?
Yeah, and they can avoid prosecution so easily.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kind of change, I feel like I feel like, okay, personally, I feel that's a long-term thing. I don't think there's much we can do now, but I feel like the people who want to be, I don't know, future politicians, future lawmakers, those people are the ones who are going to make the most change there. If that makes sense. I think something else that I've noticed is there are Kenyans who berate other Kenyans for being supportive of the BLM movement in the USA. Like people who will say, "Oh, now you're supporting the American, Black people, and you can't support our people," something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Yeah.
I think it's necessary. Like, how are you looking at change away from where you are, and you could be the next victim, but you're looking outside? Like, it's not bad to support outside. Like, I'm also supporting, but like, don't be so quick to look at what's happening outside when you're not looking at what's happening around you.
Injustice is injustice. So as much as there's nothing that should allow one person to, be policing what people are supporting, because there's nothing that's really helping. If I'm saying, oh, you're not supporting here, there's nothing I've really done.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, we're all human. We're still our brothers, we're still our sisters. If we choose to support them, the people outside, that's cool. But yeah, I think we should also push for, or at least raise awareness for people to now also support our inward problems as well. So what do you guys think about All Lives Matter?
It's just messed up, man. That's so fucked up, man, to think that, man.
Like, what's wrong about it?
Like, obviously, okay, we're all humans, man. We're all together, man. But then if half of us, or being mistreated and doing. It's not fair for us, man. Like, come on.
Why
How
do
can
all
you go?
lives matter? Why do all lives start mattering as soon as Black lives start mattering? Like people start protesting. They go out there. They're talking about how our race, has been discriminated for like what years, centuries. And as soon as now people are protesting, they're like, as soon as it's getting serious, it becomes all lives matter, and it's like I don't even know how to say it.
Hypocritical, I'm thinking.
It overlooks the problem. Like it's like, okay, there's a problem here, but we're gonna be like, no. See, the thing is, even us, like we've had, like, what are you saying? Like right now we're focusing on like one aspect. Like this is a point where it's like intense, it's extreme. So
I don't know if I have like a lot to say in addition to anything I've said about based on Black Lives Matter. I feel like we should try address more what is happening here, because essentially we can't, I don't know, we can't fully understand the fear and the terror of living in America, and here in our situation we are, I don't know, do I say somewhat like the ones who are not racist. They're not anti-racist, they're just there. Because only until recently have we started talking about how the lower class are being attacked, how it's injustice to them. But for a long time, I say what middle class, upper class have just been watching, have just been quiet, and only until recently is when we're now bringing it up. So in that case, are we now the not racist? Have we just been watching, essentially, and enjoying our comforts?
But it does that thing for, I don't know, silence is. No, like you being quiet doesn't mean you're racist or something like that.
Yeah. It doesn't. You being quiet doesn't mean you're anti-racist.
It begs the question that, like, if things don't happen out there, will we ever notice them happening here? Like, like police brutality. I mean, that's been there for a while, but only recently, up to like the George Floyd case, is when now people started noticing it, like not noticing it, but starting to now talk about it, starting to post about it. So it's like, if something doesn't happen out there, does that mean we're not going to bring it when it happens in our own country?
and that's why I'm telling you, the media coverage has a huge part to blame on this,
They're so
because
bad.
they don't cover any stories about this police brutality. It's not like it's just started. Like I've told you, it's always been about class. Like you'll never hear a rich person being beaten, but it's always like the low class people being brutalized. And it's like no one is talking about it. Like look at influencers in Kenya, these people who are here always cracking us up with jokes. When it came to serious business, they were nowhere to be seen, and they're still nowhere to be seen.
But this is actually a deep-rooted issue. I don't think I even like scratch the surface. This is like, hey, like
There's people who are like afraid of the brand image, I think, being messed up on talking about these issues. It shows your own agenda. It shows your agenda on this topic. There's people who've spoken out about it, and yeah, I know there's some social influencers who've talked about it, but yeah, it feels like us, our generation, were the ones carrying a lot of the conversation, I feel.
I think it's also the mentality that the generation behind us have, because you know they might say, okay, yeah, it's good the people are being beaten. Why are they not? Why are they not in? Why are they not in their homes? Why are they not following curfew? Oh, that that type of mentality. So it's good also bringing this type of change, and that kind of changing the mindset, seeing things differently. Yeah, no, that's good.
I think problem of people not being at home at curfew, people not obeying the curfew laws comes from the government. Like the government has been given so much money to feed people so that people don't have to, stay out late and work, because not everybody is as, comfortable with life to know you shop for a whole week and you're fine and you can just stay at home and have a whole week of food. Some people who work for their food on a daily basis. And I think the government is to blame for people staying out past curfew.
How do you guys feel about the people ruining the names of protesters by looting? By looting businesses, destroying all these things, all that stuff. Businesses.
I've just seen like 1 or 2 videos, and I think it's really stupid. But I mean, it's life. Like, there's always going to be people who are against when people are trying to make things right. There's always going to be those people who try to discard the process. I mean, it was expected. Like, there's like the people who start pages and start saying all lives matter, or people who kept on, making videos mocking the George Floyd situation. So there's always going to be those kind of people, is what I'm going to say.
I think, okay, us as the people, we can tell that most of the time the looters and the peaceful protesters they have two different agendas. But the media and the bigger people, they're not able to see that. To them, it's all one group. This is all in the name of BLM. If someone's stealing Jordans, it's in the name of BLM to the media and to the entire people. So they'll group all of us in one, and now they use that as a weapon to say, oh, so here you are looting the shops and burning the buildings. Why should we listen to you?
Yeah, it's just crazy how the media just focuses on the violence. Like, there's so many peaceful protests. Guys are jamming to Pop Smoke, dancing, and all that stuff. You never see that at all. You don't even see that at all. But they're just showing, oh, protesters, looting happens, oh, in the name, just spoiling it. It's just, I don't know. But the media is censored. It's controlled by the government, so you don't expect much from them. So it's just really sad to see that.
I hope the peaceful protests in Kenya get a lot of media coverage, because that's a big thing, I think, for people like us to be out there.
It's a big step for the youth. Yeah, big step for our generation. Big.
Definitely. I'm gonna say that, okay, let me ask, would you rather peaceful protest or a more aggressive protest? Still protesting, but would you prefer a peaceful just march, and even though the police come and try and break it up, peaceful nonetheless? Or would you rather violence protests?
The violence should continue. You know why? Like, there's so many reasons why this needs to be happening. First of all these companies, their stuff is already insured. So even if, no matter what happens, even if the whole building falls to the ground, they're still getting their money back. And also, don't forget about the thing for no justice, no peace. So if we don't show any if we're not willing to how do you say this? Compromise. Okay,
yeah.
If you're not willing to take something away to get if you're not willing to sacrifice that aspect or whatever, then we're not gonna get the peace, the justice.
I agree with you. No justice, no peace. But to an extent, what about someone who just used all his savings to put up a shop? Then the next day it's looted. All the money he put in, it's gone.
I mean, it can't be how do you say this, flawless. The transition can't be flawless. I'm not saying the lives that are being lost or the livelihoods that are being destroyed are for nothing, but you have to, as I said, there has to be some sacrifice. There has to be something for you to lose for you to gain the whatever support.
Are you willing to do the same here? Are you willing
yes,
to
of course.
You're willing to go out and aggressively protest?
Okay. Now that you say it, I'm thinking, but no, if I was in the US, I'd be doing the same thing.
I think
But that's why
it's more justified
why
in the US because it's more capitalistic. Yeah.
because it's a first world country and these things are happening. So if we're in a third world country, that's why I'm looking at it like.
What Brandon is trying to say is the fact that this is a war of black against black. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, these are Africans.
It's not systemic racism here.
Yeah,
it's systemic racism out there.
It's a different issue because here it's black on black lives.
I'm gonna say I see both sides of the coin. I see like why we might do this violently. Like I'm gonna say like, yeah, slaves didn't have a drink with their masters and say, hey, we want to be free, please let us go. And then they were let go. They came out and they revolted and past whatever's, some have been violent. And it's not that peaceful hasn't worked. It's just a lot of the extreme cases I'd say have been a violent method. But I understand peaceful protesting may come off more powerful because it feels like if we do things violently, then the media might have that as a weapon to use against us. That's, these people are so violent. So what's the use of listening to them if they can't be civil? As well as, for example, I think this happened last week, I'm not too sure, but some looters shot a retired black policeman. He was 77 years old, and he had been in the area checking on, I think, an alarm that had gone off, and it happened to be looters, and they shot him. And then the fact that they killed a black man when the whole protest is meant to be protecting black lives, that's the complete opposite of the movement. That's exactly what we're trying to protest against. And then people who are still labeled as protesters, even though they're just looters, go on and kill a black man, and the violence doesn't make sense after that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm not supporting the looting. Like, I don't think it's in the name of George Floyd and everyone else that was murdered by these police officers. It's just people taking advantage of the situation and deciding to do terrible things to, just taking advantage of the situation, just doing something that's not good, or just.
What we need to understand is that two wrongs don't make right. So when we keep on complaining about violence, we keep on complaining about how we want to fix things. I don't think we can fix them through violence. So I don't think I'd want to go for a protest where I know there's going to be vandalism happening and things like that. Like, like a violent protest, like it doesn't make sense because.
I'm also glad that I think in US there have been a couple of celebrities out there, especially like music and sports. I feel like to an extent celebrities are like shields, in the sense that police are less likely to be violent where a big celebrity figure is, because they know if they injure that celebrity or manhandle them in any way, that's gonna be a huge outrage. Like, imagine Stephen Curry was injured by a stray rubber bullet or something like that. Like, that would, it would just amplify the police brutality, I feel like. So I think that's why more celebrities should be protesting.
Yeah, they should come out and speak. And I think now I've seen some celebrities who have just not said anything, and now okay, that guy
was it racist?
Yeah. Now the true colors are being shown right now.
Yeah.
See who's with you and who's not.
Couldn't they keep the same energy when that building was burning down? Was that cathedral in
France?
France.
Or Notre Dame,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that one.
Oh,
I can't take it the same energy. That building got so many fans and support and awareness, and then it comes to Black Lives.
it's a building.
Racist, but
Right. Lastly, this is the last point. What do you think we can do, firstly, right now to help, and then as well as in the long term? What do you think we should be doing, and what do you think we should strive to be doing?
But as citizens, all we can do is just protest, raise awareness, push for change.
Donations, sign petitions, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that stuff.
And then maybe have that platform or just that communication between people. You know, some people don't even know what we're fighting for, what we're talking about. Like me personally, it took me some time. I had to step back and just look at, okay, started here, went from this to that, you know, educate myself on certain things I didn't know, and I got myself here. So if we can get everyone to do that and at least know, okay, so this is how this happened and this, oh, wow, it's crazy. And yeah, so you can learn.
Wait, I have a question. Do petitions work in Kenya?
I mean,
I think they have in the
money.
past.
I don't even know about that.
I think there's some that have worked in the past. But yeah, I don't know. But it doesn't hurt to sign a petition. You know?
It's not. You have a freaking email, man. Come on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt to take time to educate yourself, sign petitions. There's ways you can even like donate without having funds. Like there's YouTubers who've set up videos. They use the ad revenue to donate.
Yeah, that was smart.
Yes, that's genius. That's innovation, and I like things like those. Yeah.
But they're now like the guys who have the platform to do something are not doing anything. It's the guys over here. All we can just do over here just repost on the story. Those are things we can do. Not even the politicians themselves, they're not doing anything. Like the guys who have the chance to do something are doing nothing.
That's what you have to, because they're not going to do anything, and I don't think that's ever going to change. And what Mark said, I mean, he's right. If we don't do it, if we don't step back and educate ourselves, it's not like those guys are going to do it. So all we have to do is we have to keep reposting, regardless of whether they do it or not, because it will never stop. And I don't think they'll ever take their time to give something as serious as this their attention. So, you know, it's either we make them see it and they keep ignoring it. At least we know that we are doing something.
I think the leadership just needs to change. That's all that needs to happen. Like people need to style up. Like people are in leadership for their own personal benefit and not realizing that they put everybody else in harm's way.
I feel like that now comes with voting, because I feel like by the next election, everybody here should be voting age, I think.
Yep.
Most of us. But yeah,
Most
definitely.
All of
us.
Next election is 2022.
Unatoto hapa.
2020. Oh yeah, actually all of us. Yeah, all of us. All of us should.
This is the youngest here. So, and me and Chris are 1 month apart.
That's what you think.
2021.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to. We should.
Bro,
Okay.
but how I'm seeing it, bro, you just Raila, bro.
I'm not voting in any election.
Yeah, this one we just wait for the
next. I feel like that thought process is what's wrong with our country, bro.
Bro, a good saying, like, be the change you want to see. So, like,
the change I want.
Like, you know, I've discussed this before, and then I was told like, Kenyans' number one problem is that we're just complainers. Like we say, oh, this is wrong, this is bad, I don't know what, but like really trying to effect the change.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm not even gonna lie, that's facts.
But you see, we can also read ourselves as constructive criticisms, someone will say that word for me. critics.
Hey,
Yeah,
wow.
hapo sawa.
We complain a lot, but you see, it's like, something wrong is happening or something. We tend to complain a lot, but you see, it's like we're calling out to people in power and being like, okay, we don't like it like this. And the problem is that when we ourselves, the people who complain, it's not like we're ever going to necessarily get that chance to get the power that they have. So you see, the most we can do is actually complain. So I mean, I feel like the way Kenyans behave, it kind of is justifying that situation.
We could just like place ourselves like if we have the same platform, we won't make the same mistake. That's certainly all we can do.
I think if there wasn't this whole crisis of like coronavirus, and like that's the only reason I'm forced to stay at home, I think what I would have done is food drive. If there were no social distancing restrictions due to this coronavirus like situation, I'd do food drives and help people in the slums that aren't getting enough to eat, or people who are dying now of malnutrition because they have no work, source of income, or source of food. Yeah.
What's stopping you from doing that now?
What's stopping me is me. I'm not trying to catch corona, if I'm being honest.
Don't you think that what's this called? The fact that corona, social distancing, all of that happened, people got out of work, people didn't have school, and all of that, it gave them a chance to now protest and give them the time to learn. Like if there was no social distancing, then the activism wouldn't be this much.
Then again, the second day of protesting, see, there were 20,000 cases reported, new cases.
Yeah, something like that.
Then never had anything from that. From there, we don't know now. Have they checked any more news about that? Bro, that thing is just fishy, man.
I'll tell you, the
They
government...
have, I think they have, but it's not that big. Like, no one...
Those guys should be like 2 million right now.
I think that's the dumb part about this protest. Like, where are you going, knowing that the social distancing rules, knowing that you don't know who has corona, especially here in Kenya? Our machines are so faulty. You'd go one day you're positive, the next day you're negative. Like, I mean, like, it's nice. I get it. You want to make change, but I don't think this is the right situation. This is not the right, not situation, the right social distancing. Then all of you protest.
I know. You want people to protest on Zoom?
No, we wait.
Yeah, there's no time.
Like, what? There's no better time than today, man. We're risking our lives.
I was saying, like, for them, are they more scared of dying of corona or being shot at a stop sign?
Being shot at a stop sign.
So then they just have to go and protest regardless of the current circumstances.
They're tired. And they're tired, plus now they've been staying at home. You have not been working, you have no money, and then just everything just came in line. Just protests.
Agreed.
So when we all kill ourselves from refusing to social distance in the name of trying to save ourselves, then what good does that do?
It's the same way soldiers fight a war to protect a country. There's no casualty. I mean, there has to be casualties in some form. I feel this is what Brandon said. We lose. We have to sacrifice something for the greater cause.
Lose some to win some. Yep, let's go.
Obviously, we're not saying we want people to die.
Yeah, like
it's mask. But yeah, please be safe.
Sanitize.
I just want to say that in the long term, in the very long term, the people who are studying to be lawyers and lawmakers and big people in the government and important leaders, I think they'll be the most important. Personally, I think they'll be the most important people in the direction of change. And we hope that as a generation that we've learned from the mistakes of those above us, and that we'll be the ones, hopefully, to make this world better, not just for us, but for the generations after us. Thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed. And we're going to leave some links on ways that you can sign petitions and educate yourself, as well as our page where we'll be posting stuff, petitions and articles and other resources that you can use. Remember this, we're not only here to educate, we're here to conversate. So if you feel like you want to say something as well, add to the conversation, drop a comment or hit us up, tell us what you think, what you agree with and disagree with, and it's a discussion at the end of the day. And with that, Quarantine 8 signing out.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.